Hi, this is Keiko from Brooklyn Shoe Space. How are you? Today for Shoe Talks Quarantine Edition. Now, I don't think maybe I'll stop calling it the Quarantine Edition. This is just the way of life now. Shoe Talks, we're going to be inviting Malika Green from Brooklyn. I first found her on Instagram and I found out that she also teaches and she lives in Brooklyn. And I was so surprised that I haven't met her in person yet. And we live in the same city. So during this pandemic, I reached out and she is open to talking about her art and shoemaking. So let's see if she has joined me. Let me see. Today I'm sitting, oh, here we go. Really on my toddler's high chair. All right.
Hi,
Hi,
hi, how are you?
how are you?
Good, and you?
Good. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna put my headpiece in. Sorry, I forgot. I forgot my headpiece. Sorry. It echoes. So I'm gonna put
Uh-huh.
it on and see if it comes. It might not work. Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Do you
Sorry.
hear me?
Yes, I am. I
Okay.
hope I'm. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you or face to face finally online. It was
Yes, yes.
how have you been? Have you been quarantined in Brooklyn?
Yeah, we've been quarantined in Brooklyn. It's been a pretty horrible year, I think, for everybody. But we've been here. We were going to, my husband and family and I we were contemplating a cross-country move back in February, and then like also I turned 40 in March, and my husband got sworn in as a citizen, and then COVID happened, so we just hunkered down and didn't leave our neighborhood for 5 months, like just
Wow.
walking distance only.
Yeah. Well, cross country. Where to? Where did you have in mind?
It was a move for a job that I didn't get, so one of those things, but it was definitely an interesting exploration to think
Right.
of. Yeah.
Yeah. And the city's vibe has been changing. I've seen like from the lockdown to, you know, all BLM to the election to all this like do you go out? Do you keep on making shoes?
Yeah. In the spring, I made a lot of masks, and I hadn't make any shoes for a long time. Just was so stressed and anxious about everything, and
Yeah.
also two kids both at home. So, kind of transitioning to having kids doing schooling from home. With
How
one going into middle school, the big girl's 11, the little one is 2. So, yeah.
you? That's wow.
Yeah, we do go out some now, but like we'll go to like the zoo, the Prospect Park Zoo or the botanical gardens because we have membership and with the limited admissions, it feels very safe and empty
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, but it's definitely like a modified life, you
Right.
know.
Time mom and a full-time teacher or something that of that sort, like a not a substitute teacher, but is your middle schooler like pretty sufficient with her like learning? Is it e-learning or has she been going into the school at part-time or
Yeah, she's fully remote, but we formed a pod with 3 other friends that they all got into the same school and the same program. So we kind of like potted up with them. And it's really good because it's like they have each other, so it's not just like her by herself in front of her computer. So
oh, okay.
it's actually been really good. I mean, I don't know, like certain subjects she is not doing well in, but I think it's just how this year is going to go. Like
Right.
math is really hard for her right now. It's hard to learn math, through a computer, I think.
Can you help? Or is it like, I mean, I don't think I can help my son at this moment. So,
Right. Yeah. He's in ninth grade or
uh,
10th.
but like it's, I mean, they learn math differently. So I feel like it's a little different now. How
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
I gather that your studio's from home. Have you always had a studio at home?
Yeah, I have. I've always been really lucky. Like this current apartment we're in, it's a four bedroom and we only use three of them. So we've always had a home studio. And it's small, but I have like my work table and my leather sewing machine and my Landis 5-in-1 and, lots of storage space and attic space to put the big box of lasts and a separate closet to put everything. So
That's
it's good. Yeah, I feel very grateful.
Yeah. Please go back in time. Like, how did you start shoemaking? Have you always lived in Brooklyn, and did you learn shoemaking in New York? Who are your mentors?
Yeah, so I grew up in Florida, and my parents are artists, and from a young age, I just started dreaming about shoes and was very interested in art and fiber art and kind of like sculpture and shoes as well. So I went to art school that had a fashion department, the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and they had a shoe class. So
Yeah.
I got to take that and just fell in love and took it like four times, just kept
Oh,
rolling over attendance, and just fell in love with shoes. But I definitely started as shoes as art.
uh-huh.
So like some of my where are they? Oh yeah. So like I was doing like shoes like this at first. So like like for walking down the stairs. It's very conceptual
Yeah.
footwear. But it was important to me that they were like properly made shoes, like with a sole and a shank and the right
Uh-huh.
volume.
Uh-huh.
So I just basically taught myself,
Wow.
at that stage.
At school, can I go back a little bit? So Chicago
Yeah.
School of Arts, is that where you kind of got the foundation of shoemaking and you kept on making there?
Yes, yeah. So I also took the first class I took was at Penland School of Craft, and I took that the year before I went to college. They had this amazing 2-week workshop in footwear design. So that was my first taste of making shoes.
Oh, that's cool. Who was the
Yeah.
teacher?
It was got Gaza Bowen and Jean Casacito. So both artists. Jean Casacito was a fiber artist, so she did the felted fabric component. Like we did
Huh?
shibori dye on it. We did really cool embellishments. And then Gaza Bowen was this amazing sculptor. Like you'll probably remember her work. She did these shoes that were made out of cleaning products. So
Uh-huh.
sort of like a spoof on a housewife or the most like creative. So she was more a sculptor that also had a foundation in footwear design. So very cool people. It was such a fun class, and I just loved it so much.
Oh, cool. And
Yeah.
then you went to the art school and then into it, so you kind of incorporated footwear into your art,
Yeah, yeah. So
or
at
was
that stage, yeah, I guess I was thinking about it as the shoes were like a component, either in a performance or um, like the sculpture themselves, but like the meaning was beyond just being a shoe. So I was
uh-huh.
really viewing it from an art perspective, like they were like had a relationship with the body or modifications or dance or movement, but they weren't really necessarily like shoes that were meant to be worn like outside on the street or they were meant to be worn in very specific ways.
Right, right, right. I see. Very cool. And then, so how long have you been designing and making shoes as art. It's been
Yeah.
like 20, no, not 20 years. 20 years?
Yes. 20 years. Yeah.
That's cool. And when did
Yeah.
you teaching?
What?
When did you start teaching?
Okay, so I got actually I got the chance to teach my first workshop at Penland School of Craft in 2013,
Huh?
and then I started teaching at Mass Art. I taught there for a couple years in like the winter intersession. We would do like a 10-day shoe class.
Uh-huh.
Um, I taught a couple of different classes there, and then I taught at Penland again, and then I got
Uh-huh.
connected with the Elliott School in Boston as well, and I've taught there. I was supposed to teach there this summer, but all the classes had to get canceled because of COVID. Um,
Right. So are
yeah,
your classes during the winter or the summer breaks, like holidays?
yeah, that's pretty much how I've done it. Definitely, always looking for teaching jobs in my city. I tend to travel to teach. That's been what I've done. But
Yeah.
yeah, which is a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Um, and then tell us a little bit about your 2015 show that you had near like up in Boston. Were you
Yeah, that was really cool. So I was teaching a class there, and they always have uh, like an artist talk every month, sort of a big draw. And so I was the guest speaker. So it wasn't a show, but I gave an artist talk and showed, my work. And yeah, it
when you
was great. I actually hate public speaking, but it went really well, and I was really proud of myself. So it was sort of like a breakthrough on being a shy person.
when you showed your work, did you show work from like college days, conceptual art, all the way up, or to the present, or how many pieces did you show?
Yeah, so exactly like that, because I did make a shift at some point from the conceptual stuff to more, handcrafted footwear that I kind of had to confront the elephant in the room, the
Uh-huh.
fact that I'm making shoe sculptures, that aren't meant to be worn, and at some point, like and yet the fact that they're made properly is so important to me, and I try so hard to make them well. So at some point, I had to like realize that like they could have a life as a shoe as well and have some artistic meaning to them and still be worn as like a shoe object.
Uh-huh. When did you make that shift?
Yeah, so probably when I went to grad school, I kind of had the realization that I didn't have to pick, you know, fashion or art. It didn't have to be the big either or. It could
Okay.
be both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grad school is the Chicago School of Art.
I Cranbrook Academy in Detroit or in Detroit suburbs.
Oh, cool. I don't
Yeah.
writing it down, but was that
It's a really small school. It's very small.
was that recent?
I went there in no, I went there in 2009. Yeah.
Very cool.
So
Very
I got my MFA in industrial design, and I was kind of firmly thinking I would move away from shoes, and then I actually moved even closer to them. So
wow. How did that kind of happen? Did you just fall back in love with the shoes as like a different object, like more functional object rather than like art?
yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah. And then I did my thesis on fashion and surrealism. So I realized that I could still like put my dream meaning into the shoes, or like kind of humor and relationship to the body, or, and still have them be shoes.
Cool. So since then you've been making shoes that you can wear. And
Yes. Yeah.
cool. That's so cool. And then you had like another one more recently that's crafting the glass slipper, is it? The art and poetry of shoes. No, that's not. That's actually, sorry. That's from the
From
Boston.
the, yes, from Boston, yes.
Worn in, worn out sole of the shoe. That one. When
Yes, yeah.
about? What was your inspiration? That's
Yeah, that was an amazing show. So they invited me to be in the show, and they borrowed 9 pieces of my shoe art, ranging from like something like this,
I wanna see. I
to
wanna see.
like these.
Uh-huh. Are those
I made a new piece for them.
ooh, the exaggerated chopping or
Yeah, for a toddler.
oh, for a toddler. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw the picture of like your daughter in a car or something like that. Oh,
Yeah. So other
uh-huh. Okay. What
kind
is
of floating shoe. If you
floating?
can,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And then other, I did a couple that were like
Oh, I
this,
love
that were like,
I think I posted one of the green ones that was kind of similar.
yeah,
I love
yes,
it.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
Modify the
yes, yes, exactly. I fell in love with that. I was doing it the wrong way before I learned the right way, but I was making all sorts of stuff like this and just,
uh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, fun. The proportions
yeah.
are fun.
Yeah, yeah, exaggerated. I was really into exaggerated shapes for a while.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Cool.
yeah,
Very
so I did that last year, 2019, and that was,
last
yeah, so that show was up from like May to August, I guess, and I got to go down there and give an artist talk and see the show as well, and it was
oh,
great.
that is great. Did you have other like designers there that you met, or is this kind of like mostly your collection, or was it a combination of different shoes from different people?
Yeah, they had in one giant room, they had shoes like that had been collected, like collectors. Like there was like a sneaker guy who had the coolest sneakers. There was this woman who just loved footwear and had like she opened up her collection and lent the museum like the
Um,
most beautiful shoes. So that was more like kind of a peek into the closet. And then my work was in the more she was art room with some other artists that weren't necessarily working in shoes, but had a piece that touched on footwear, so they had them in the show. Or
cool. What do you get inspired by? Like, is there
I love nature, color. I guess I'm sort of formal. Like I really like drawing and working on shapes, and then working on like paper samples,
mhm.
just kind of playing around with proportions and shapes. But I take photos a lot, and I love really kind of intense colors. So I always have a lot of color in my work. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I've been getting better about not trying to put all my inspiration into one
Fun.
design. Try to take
I
a component of it. You know.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm just impressed with like balancing your mommyhood as well as artisthood, like creative time. Like, how did you do that? Like, I feel like you went to grad school around the time that your daughter was maybe born or around the time. I'm not.
Yeah. It's been hard. I've had big gaps where I haven't been creative, like especially when like my first one was little. I wasn't very creative for maybe like 2 years after she was born.
Mhm.
Um, and then it came back, and then I started teaching and like getting back into it and like learning more skills because I wanted to teach them. So like, how do I do this? I need to figure out how I do this so I can teach it. And
What?
always like because it's like so many components to shoemaking, so you can be really good about one thing or 10 things but then bad at five others. Or
Right, right, right. Or like you can always keep on learning new techniques from different makers, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
What did you
Yeah.
turn to, like when you get to learn a new skill or new technique or new problem solving? Did you reach out to anybody or did you kind of figure it out yourself or what did you do?
Um, I got to take a two-week class with this one shoemaker, and she turned me on to veg tan leather and using eco-friendly stains.
Hmm.
And she also it was a hand welting class, so it was like brogued and Oxford hand welted. So I got to learn the really traditional footwear from her, and
Wow.
also like fell in love with the different leather that I had never gotten to play with before.
Who was it?
And so, yeah, it was Jessica Bromer. She's in Santa Fe. She lived in North Carolina then, but she's the most amazing craftswoman, and she makes shoes and sells them and teaches workshops.
Hmm. Oh, that's so cool. I feel like does she have a book? Maybe I have to look her up. But that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, she's really cool. I know her. I think her line is called Hope in Industry. So yeah,
Hmm.
definitely check it out.
Cool. No, thank you, thank you. Is that also like so hand welting? So do you hand weld all the shoes now, or do you still?
No. It's such a cool technique, but it's so labor intensive. I'm really glad that I did it, and I might do it again someday, but I really injured my hand actually. So, and I sort of really love women's shoes. Like I love kind of like special occasion, cemented construction. So,
Hear you. What's your favorite tool of the trade? Do you have a tool that you treasure?
yeah, so I was thinking about that question because I love having at least like one of everything. So when you need to do something, it's easy to do. But
Yeah.
this just little safety skiver, um, I've been carrying this around since I was in undergrad when I took the first shoe class, and it works for me so perfectly because I'm left-handed. So
Oh,
it's like the only advantage I've ever had being left-handed in this world because how the blade is, how it's curved, and so yeah, this is my secret weapon, I guess, with skiving.
is that key version or is it still a righty one?
It's like that, so it's so good. It's like left-handed.
Oh, and you push it out.
Yeah, push it out so you're never gonna cut yourself or you
Oh,
know.
totally different when you use it. Wait, you hold the left hand and then push it out.
Yes, yeah. Push it out and then, like long or,
Yeah,
or curve. Yeah.
interesting, interesting. Because I think I've seen left-handed versions of those. So, yeah, like the blade is on this, yeah, the opposite side.
Mhm.
But that I think that's great that you totally have a technique for it.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you can get the blades anywhere, and not anywhere, but locally, which is nice.
Yeah, totally. These you can buy them in packs of 10
Ah,
and they're great and
sorry for a hot second. I think you for a hot second. Sorry. Did it freeze?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Ah,
Okay, you're back.
yeah.
Mhm.
Back. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, cool. What's your favorite machine?
Yeah, so I have in artisan post.
Uh-huh.
But I really want to get a flatbed too. I had one years ago and then I sold it, and I actually do a lot of hand sewing too, which is, it's great. It looks so neat, and you can use really small thread. It's kind of nice for fine leather.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have anything you're working on now?
Yeah, so I am hoping on teaching a wool slipper class. I'm trying to transition to online workshops a little bit. So I'm developing a class right now, and my hope is that the students can find materials like in their apartment or easily sourced, so it's not like a proper shoe class. It won't be lasted, but
Right.
we will do some geometric pattern making on our own feet. And
Mhm.
so like I'm playing around with making insoles. Like this is cork with like a store-bought insole over it, and I'm kind of starting to build it up. And then I did another sample that's just like totally a soft shoe,
Uh-huh.
like cashmere with like a leather sole.
Cashmere.
Yeah,
Cashmere. Great.
I know, right? You want a cashmere slipper? So still working on what this is gonna be, but I'm sort of picturing it like how food is like, like this cake recipe 3 ways. Like I sort of see it as like slipper 3 ways,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. I'll
yeah.
totally hear you. Yeah, online is everybody's doing everything from home, and like schooling is kind of overrated in a way. You can learn anything anywhere nowadays, right? For a
Yeah.
lot. So it doesn't have to be like until college or grad school. You can always go back and learn something online. So this is great. Um,
Yeah.
do you know when you want to launch it?
Well, that is, it's going to be through a museum
Uh-huh.
that has an educational department. So I'm still developing the class, but if it runs, it'll be through the Fuller Craft Museum, which, people anywhere can register for it. But
That's
the school is in Massachusetts.
yeah, yeah. That's so cool. What's your favorite shoes that you've worked on?
Okay, that's hard. I don't know. I really kind of love all of them. I don't know. um, yeah, these ones I really love because I had a dream about them, and then I made them and they turned out exactly like my dream. So that was cool.
Yeah.
These ones were fun because I did cast 3D printing
Uh-huh.
and then mold making and um,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
and, yeah, and same with like the Chopin,
Yeah.
like cork in the front, wood in the back,
Uh-huh.
so sort of like a modern
Uh-huh.
Chopin. But
Yeah.
I actually love making sandals too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love making just kind of like leather sandals that are really wearable, flat,
Yeah. I see your sandal classes. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just also I think I'm saying it wrong. It's Chopin, like are you like French word, or is it like I was totally thinking it's like Chopin. No, it's so
I
funny.
always said Chopin. Maybe I'm saying it
Okay.
wrong.
No, I guess if it's French, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Oops. That's
Maybe
embarrassing.
I have a
All right.
slight southern accent, so maybe it's that. I don't know.
No, 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 no. That's great. I was totally saying it like American way, maybe. I don't know. Sorry about that. But that's cool. So you do 3D printing as well?
I only got to do that in grad school, but now that it's so easy to do, yeah, at some point I'd like to
Order.
buy one. Do you
Yeah,
do
or
any
even
3D?
I personally don't, but my former business partner, she does.
Mhm.
And you can order it. Like you don't have to have the machine. You can have a file and send it and have it printed, you
Yeah, that's
know?
really cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that is really cool that you have that. Like I guess industrial design background too. You do a lot of computer kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat. Like I didn't really have to keep the skills up. So definitely like Illustrator and Photoshop are good ones, but I still do a lot of hand drawing.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool. Yeah.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
and then
do you sketch first by hand and then kind of get your ideas going?
yes, exactly. Do like some rough sketches, and then kind of move to kind of back and forth from 3D to 2D, and
Yeah. Yeah. And do you sell your artwork, like these shoes?
Yeah, I have sold them, and I've also like just make them, for myself. But I've
Mhm.
sold them to art collectors, like the green shoes. I sold those, so I miss them, but there was somebody that loves them.
Yeah, that's cool. It is the artwork and your current wearable shoes a different price point?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah. I guess you're at home. Do you wear shoes at home? I always ask a question, what shoes are you wearing?
Yes, yeah. I do wear shoes at home. I don't like to be barefoot anymore, so I wear like these slippers in the house.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Did you make them?
I did not make these ones,
Okay.
but I have made these slippers, and I'm working on some.
Yeah, yeah, you were saying that. Yeah, I'm actually working on some too. Work from home slippers. What's your
Oh,
favorite
good. Yes,
material?
we all want the best shoes on our feet from
Yeah,
at home.
right? What's your favorite material to work with?
I love just all types of leather, really. And I guess I use kid skin, goat, vegetan, cow. Yeah, suedes are great. Love pigskin lining.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your
Just
favorite?
I'd like to love even more, and I'd love to learn even more and more. Try different leathers
Yeah,
out.
try them out. Yeah. Um, what's your favorite class to teach?
Yeah, I would say ballet flats are a lot of fun to teach,
Hmm.
because there's a lot you can do to it, and it's a very basic pattern as well.
Yeah,
So a high chance of success. The students being able to make them and leave the class feeling like really successful in wearing them. And they can also do like I've done a lot of like inlay overlay.
yeah.
So that's a fun thing to teach and let them like embellish.
What do you have like a favorite student shoe? I guess you can't favor any, favoritism might not be great, but do you have something that like stood out that you still remember which, particular shoe?
Yeah, so many great shoes, and what's so neat is seeing like all the different creativity come out and like where
Yeah,
different backgrounds that people are coming from, be it just a
yeah,
lifelong love of shoe or like maybe having a foot issue that makes it
yeah,
hard for them to find like
right.
right shoes for them or
So yeah, it's the variation. No shoe is the same, right? In the class, group class.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Do you have a mantra you live by?
I guess just like trying to live my life in being positive and helpful. I don't know if it's a mantra, but that's how I try to live.
Yeah, I think that's a vision or motto or I don't know what you call it. But what if you had all the resources in life and like no worries about life, what kind of shoes would you make and for who?
Yeah, I'd love to make just really beautiful women's shoes, but like wearable, like sort of like Mihara style.
Yeah.
Like I love her shoes so much, and I'd love to make shoes like in a similar vein, like
Hmm.
not just like very wearable, but also special occasion and like really
Uh-huh.
creative designs and beautiful leathers and like great shapes and
Hmm. Would you create your own line of shoes?
that's definitely like a kind of like future plan. It would be amazing. I need I need to learn a lot um, first about business. So right now, very small.
Yeah, yeah. But would you say like you want to go towards in the future towards more art and wearable art, or is it more like fashion footwear?
Yeah. I think both. I think I will always make wearable art. And
Mm-hmm.
I've had some ideas recently that I'm putting on, just making for myself and seeing if they're, kind of worth, or kind of just some ideas I wanted to get out. But I also love, like, you know, people wearing my shoes and wearing them myself. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking a little bit almost like about becoming like a pet orthist.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm exploring that. I just sort of learned about it recently, and it just almost seems like a good fit for me with like how I've been interested in shapes and um, you know,
Body.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the online, it's like an online course, and then you have to go take a test and a couple week session, and then a test, and then an internship, is it? Uh, it's a little bit of a process, yeah, that sounds great.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? And maybe that might be where what you might be doing.
Yeah, maybe. I definitely think living through the pandemic in New York made me miss like being closer to my family. So like kind of thinking about career paths that I could do from outside of a big city.
You're right.
Yeah, so
Are
yeah.
your parents still in Florida area?
Yeah, 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 still in Florida.
There's like, I feel like there's some, yeah, the pit orthist, there's classes down in Florida, in-person classes, and then I don't know, I feel like there's some industry there too for footwear.
Very cool. I'll have to, yeah, it's just sort of like a recent idea I had because I've been racking my brain of like kind of like, thinking about, because I had a gap when I had my most recent child, and then kind of like thinking about what next.
Right,
And with
right.
the pandemic and everything,
Yeah,
it makes you think about like,
yeah,
shifting, pivoting.
yeah. Priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So 3 to 5 years is something, but do you have an idea of what you want to be doing like 10 years?
Yeah. Um, whatever I do, I want to use my brain and feel of worth in like my work experience.
Mhm.
Um, I guess I don't really know. I just want to be close to my family and being able to be creative in some way, whether it's still footwear or if I've shifted to something else.
Right. Got it. Do you do made to measure kind of custom orders as well?
It's something that I'm getting more into. I have made shoes mainly for like people in my circle, but that's been a lot of fun too. And it's something that like I'd like to get kind of build into. And that's definitely one idea of like the 3 to 5 year plan could include
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. And I feel like you've been playing with last and modifying them, and like you've been like studying body and feet, that like, yeah, maybe that is something. But then it's like you got to meet in person, so I don't know how that is
Yes.
necessary, but with a mask on.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think
I know, right? Yeah.
do you think either of your daughters would like, is your older one interested in what you do?
She is, I've made her shoes. Not any in the last couple of years, but I made her a ton of shoes when she was kind of between age 2 and 6.
Uh-huh.
And that was really, really interesting to see how kids destroy shoes in ways that you would never imagine.
Yeah.
I think that she likes shoes a lot, but she's creative in other ways. She hasn't been exactly interested in designing, but
Right.
maybe some. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Do you still make shoes for your 2-year-old? Or does she
I
get hand me
owe her
down?
a pair of shoes. I'm gonna make her some. I still have all these. Like I collect lasts, and I have tons of little lasts that I'm pretty sure I have the size that she's growing to. So I should get on them.
They grow so fast, you know?
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. And would you hire interns? Like, would you like want some help?
Yeah, most definitely. I think interns, I mean, when I'm to that stage where I'm making an income and have more work than I can handle, and interns would be brilliant.
Right.
I've interned a bunch and it's a great learning experience and like, I would definitely want to pay them, I've been in unpaid internship and it's rough.
Right. Yeah, and I understand.
Yeah.
Definitely. But like, say an artist or art student who is looking into like a medium of footwear as an, like it seems like you're kind of in the transition or you do both, both art as well as wearable art and shoemaking. Um, so I was wondering if you would take kind of like apprentices to kind of guide art. I don't know. I guess artists have their own concepts, but kind of to create something that's not unconventional.
Yeah,
Would you
I'd love to. I'm not sure about an intern, but I've definitely been thinking about like collaboration. Like I'd
collaboration?
love to collaborate with other artists on like
Mm,
there's this artist that I've been wanting to collaborate with for a while, and I'm sure if I just wrote him, he would say yes, let's do it. But other things got busy. But he does the most
yeah.
amazing beaded sculptures, and I think it would be so cool to
Oh,
make a really extreme shoe form for him to bead over. Um,
yeah. Wow. Is it with like super fine beading or is it like
yeah,
big scale? Wow. Cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing something. That would be really cool. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm asking all sorts of things. Um, did I skip anything? Da-da-da. Do you have like you're saying you're working on slippers. Do you have a personal project that you always work on or do you just work on one project at a time? Do you have multiple going on at the same time? How do you work?
I, yeah. I sometimes have multiples going on at the same time, or like especially when I'm in like a season of teaching workshops. I'll start like class projects,
Yeah.
and sometimes I never finish them. Or sometimes I finish them like a year later, or and then I'm like, oh yay, these shoes are done.
Yeah. I have many unfinished projects. So I'm the worst, but I hear you.
Yeah.
Um, and then do you have any other like say dream classes or shoes that you want to learn from somebody, for example, like say cowboy boots or um, someone you follow on Instagram or
I
something
would
that somebody
love to learn boots, cowboy boots in particular. I don't have that Western background, but I
uh-huh.
think they're so beautiful in the fact that you can do all this intricate, detailing to make a picture within the boot, and then the actual boot form and how it's constructed. Really, that would be a bucket list class for sure to
Yeah,
take.
yeah. No, totally. I have a list too of like classes I wish to take, and yeah, cowboy boots is one of them. Even though like I don't actually wear cowboy boots. I had a few when I was younger, and none of
Mhm.
them really fit me the best. I don't have a custom made one. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Not
yeah.
a detailed question. I guess when you change the toe shape of your last, what material do you use?
Yeah, so if
If
it's
you're
just
okay with giving it away, you don't have to like if
oh
it's
yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
yeah.
No trade secrets here. So just like if it's like a modification for a fit or shape issue, just like the traditional stuff, like depending on how much I need to modify, like maybe some cork or just layers of leather,
Uh-huh.
just glue laminated. When I was starting out and I didn't know what I was doing, I used like on these and like these
Uh-huh.
and these. I used sculpi clay.
Copy, yeah.
Yeah, baked on the last at like a really low temperature, so the last didn't melt. But
Yeah.
sculpi isn't great. It does crumble. So once I learned like about cork and layers of leather, definitely a better material.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did it like break off as you were taking it off of the last, or did it break when you were hammering?
So the hammering more, but I would always but before lasting I would like have tons of um, tape covering the female as well. So if it broke, it would kind of stay on. And I never had it get stuck.
Okay, good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
yeah. So
I
I
guess,
just kind of went for it because I didn't know what I was doing, and I just like I knew I wanted to make shoes that were only for going down the stairs.
right.
So I do
But
that. Okay, I'm just gonna
that
do
one
it.
is, it's a hard shape. I was wondering how you
It
got
is,
that
yeah.
out. Like, I
So
guess, yeah.
I also started so it's lasted and it has like lumps of leather in there to make this ridged
I see.
shape. Yeah, and like I did, different things. Like this is the most recent art pair. Like you can see the
Kind of like
um
trapinto. It's something
exactly.
embedded. Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's string under here, and
Uh-huh.
like the same thing for I don't know if you can see because
Yeah,
it's
I
white,
can kind of
but
see.
like the
Yeah. And
yeah.
is it also leather covering it?
Yes, yeah. So this is cork inside with lambskin over
Yeah.
it.
Is it really light?
It is, yeah. It's so tiny. This is, but it is 14 layers of cork. So there is a
Wow.
weight to it, but it's not heavy because cork is light. But
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Do you have a pair or is it half a pair?
yes, yeah,
I always have a pair. Okay. Good.
yeah,
Cool. Do you have like
yeah.
a do you have a shelf of shoes at home? Like your art
Um,
pieces?
I I don't always have them on display. I do have them like stored away nicely normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that it's cool though. Like the drippy one, like off of your like shelf or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And the outsoles also bend all the way. It almost like a rest of a heel. It comes down all the way. Oh, it
yes,
does. Wow.
yeah,
Wow. That's interesting. Wow.
yeah,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, yeah. So that was a fun and a challenge to, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
get it to attach well.
Yeah. And do you ever carve your own heels?
Yes, yeah, I love that. I don't currently have access to a wood shop, so I
Uh-huh.
haven't made heels in quite a while, but I love carving heels. I think
Oh,
they're
that's
awesome.
cool. That's
Such a
so
fun
cool.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like super multi-disciplined. Like you can make stuff. Like you can, if you put your mind to it, you're like, oh, I can just make that.
So sometimes it's better to be kind of naive with something because if you realize how hard it is, it's too intimidating to go for it. You
Right,
know?
right, right, right. That's awesome. You just challenge. And that in
Yeah.
wood workshop, yeah, you have industrial design background, so you kind of have that as well under your belt. Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Do you make any like other wearable arts? Other like you were saying masks, but clothing, hats, accessories?
I haven't really gotten into other accessories, but I'd love to someday. That's another bucket list class is learning handbags.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun to make really like sculptural handbags. But I do sew quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
Maybe like I always make our Halloween costumes from
Oh,
scratch.
that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, just like fun family projects, like.
Yeah. Did you do anything this year?
Yeah, we did. We just did like it was actually really sweet. Like we didn't know what it would be like because of with COVID. But
Yeah.
in our neighborhood in Brooklyn, all these houses did candy shoots. So it was
And
like very yeah. So like they had like a chute to
oh,
throw the candy in. So like they
out
were
the
at the top of
window.
the staircase. Yeah,
Oh,
like
not
oh
out the
so
window, out of off of like the
right.
street.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, yeah.
oh, that's so cool. What did the whole family become like have a team kind of like theme?
Yeah, so when my big girl doesn't want to dress up with us anymore, so she did her own thing. But the little girl, she was Mario, and
Uh-huh.
and I was Luigi, and my husband was Bowser. So or yeah
Oh,
Yoshi. So we just did like a
Yoshi.
fun like cosplay like
Yeah.
Mario. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, cute.
yeah.
That's so cute. Oh, that's so great. I'm looking forward to seeing, some of your more humorous, fun art shoes, and as well as like, your possibly not a ready to wear, but like your fashion shoes too.
Thank you.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wearable art.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking about like, do you have a favorite designer that you like to shop or to see?
I mean, so many, there's so much going on right now too, especially with like up and coming designers. But
Right,
my
right.
personal favorite is still Mihara. I just love
Jamie,
her.
you told me that.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, cool.
I own a bunch of her shoes, and
And
they're just yeah.
it's also maybe half of it that it fits your feet too, maybe.
Yes,
The foot
yeah, very
type.
wearable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, wearable. Oh, cool.
yeah.
Great.
I would say like bucket list if I was able to launch a line, in the next 5 years. I would say my target audience would be like I would want them to be special occasion women's shoes, but very wearable and walkable and kind of like low heeled but sexy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Women need that. So
Yes.
let's 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 see, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Let's keep it up. I mean, I think it's wonderful that you keep on doing it, and I like that you have your own pace and like it's not like the market or market doesn't rule your speed. Like you can make it on your own
Yes.
pace, and I think that's great. And I think that's the way. It seems like that's the way you like your one of your secrets in a way that like you prioritize your family for a few years and then you go back to it and it's okay. You know?
Yeah, it's hard to make something within the fashion market if you're just a one person operation. So I try not to get too overwhelmed with the fast nature and like stick true to your vision and be aware of what's going on in the world, but don't let it rule you.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you would for example, sorry, I don't want to politicize any of our talks, but would any of like political events or social events happening right now inspire you to make a specific like shoe like as an art but wearable?
yeah, I mean, I don't
As
know.
a
That's
sculptor?
such a good question. I love that. I'm not sure though. Mean, I would say that's kind of one of the reasons I haven't been making art is all the politics this year and just being completely consumed.
Right.
But yeah, really excited for Biden, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah,
getting rid
yeah,
of Trump. If I could make some
yeah,
shoes that kick Trump out of the White House, I would definitely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like there's I don't know, there's, comedy comes out and like, there's all sorts of things that come out of this climate too, that I feel like, oh, there has to be some sort of shoe that like commemorates like this moment. But
Yeah.
I don't have that brain, so I thought maybe
Yeah.
you're the artist. Yeah.
I'm gonna ruminate on it, and I will see if something comes out.
Or text, DM me when you have something that
Yes,
we can just laugh about.
yes, most definitely.
Uh, Thank you so much. I hope you're having a relaxing holiday time starting tomorrow.
Yeah,
Um, and happy Thanksgiving to you, and be well.
thank you. You
And
too.
thank you so
You're
much
in
for
now, right? You're not
what?
in Brooklyn right now.
Not
You
right
have
now.
a okay.
Yes. Yeah. Today I'm in a warm spot. I decided not to go into my sub-zero like barn. I decided to talk from my dining room.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
warm.
Good.
But yeah, we're just gonna do like a family thing. But yeah, no, I hope you'll have some time with the kids where you don't have to be teaching like the kids.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, we're just doing a small thing with just us as well. But we're cooking and we're gonna take a walk if it's not raining and yeah, just be together, watch movies and yeah. Be very, very thankful, for our health and
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, stay
yeah.
healthy and
Thank you.
keep on making your creations. I love it. So keep on showing
Thank you.
your process and
Mhm. Thank you. Yeah, it was great talking to you. I can't hear you anymore.
oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for taking your time.
Yes, yeah, thank you for chatting. It was fun.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
Good to talk
All
to
right.
you.
Yeah, you too. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.